everyone, and welcome to today's Everyday Pinup Makeup tutorial. Past me forgot to record an intro for it, so here I am now doing it over the top of clips of me admiring my highlight, which is probably the reason I forgot to record the intro. So keep watching if you're interested in the products I use and the kind of methods I use to get my everyday makeup. So first I start by prepping my skin. I take the Glam Glow Glow Starter in the shade Pearl Glow, and I just dot it around my face, and then massage it in. I love this moisturizer because it's incredibly moisturizing and I have really dry skin. So next I take the Lit From Within Illuminating Primer by Mecca Cosmetics. Just a couple of pumps and kind of do the same as I did with the moisturizer. So this step I don't do every day, and that's to use the Dermalogica Skin Perfect Primer. I usually use it if I have events or I just feel like I want to have extra nice looking skin that day. I just take a small amount and put it by my nose and on my forehead, because I feel like this is where I have the most texture problems, like pores and then some fine lines. Next is foundation. So I actually mix my foundation because I don't quite have a shade that matches. I use the Designer Brands Longwear 24-Hour Foundation in Porcelain Ivory. I take a couple of pumps. And then I also take the LA Girl Pro Coverage Foundation in just white, and I add one pump. And then give it a little mix. And that's about the shade I want. Now for concealer, I'm using the Mecca Max Life Proof Cream Concealer in Porcelain. And then I take my foundation and I just use my finger to sort of dab it on at first, kind of get it going. And I take a dampened beauty blender and just blend it all together. The pointed edge is super good for getting that concealer. Any leftover foundation once I've applied it, I just go over the areas where it's looking a little thin or I want extra full coverage. Next I take my powder and I set under my eyes. For the powder, I use a mixture of the Natio Loose powder in translucent that isn't very translucent, and the Ben Nye Super White powder, because I just find the Natio one isn't quite light enough on its own. I take my concealer again, wipe off the excess, and just dab on my eyelids for a nice eyeshadow base. I'm going to be using a cream eyeshadow today, so I like to set my whole eye area with powder before I go in, as the one I'm using just doesn't stick to concealer or even a bare lid. It just shifts around and it really needs something to grab onto. So for my lid shade, I'll be using the Australis Metallics eyeshadow in the shade Guns N' Rose Petals. I love this because it's just so bright and gleamy. I love something that really pops on my eyelid. I always use at least a metallic shade on my lid. It's not uncommon for me to wear glitter as an everyday look as well. Ugh, look at it. Next is the inner corner. I use the NARS Stephen Klein collaboration eyeshadow. I don't think you can still get this, but it is the best in the shade Mortal. And I just take it down and along the waterline a little bit. Next is my crease shadow. I've previously done a blog post on my top 5 favourite crease shadows. I don't like to do a lot of colours and layering. I find one provides enough depth usually. Today I'll be using Delete from the Urban Decay Vice 4 palette. I've had this for so long and it's my everyday palette for colourful and neutral looks. I'm just using a double-ended Urban Decay brush. With the thicker end, I'm just going to pack the product, just going to swipe the product into my crease. And then I'm going to blend it out using the fluffy end of the brush. Now that my foundation's had some time to set a bit, I take my powder from earlier and just go all over. I love a matte finish, but having dry skin, it makes it pretty difficult to get one that looks nice and is also good for my skin. So that's why I like to use the two kind of moisturizing priming products at the start, as well as the pore filler one, and then later I also use a couple of sprays on my face. So next is eyebrows and eyeliner, which I do with gel eyeliner. I've already done a video on how I do my eyeliner, so I'll link that below. I still use the same method and product. So I'll just skip right ahead till it's done. So now my wings and eyebrows are on. I usually use the L'Oreal gel liner, but at the moment I've been using this brand, which is Ushas, UHAS. I couldn't quite afford the L'Oreal one when I needed to repurchase, so it's pretty close, but not quite as black on the first application. So now it's up to just finishing the face. I'm going to be contouring with Morocco, which is a NYX Cosmetics eyeshadow. And I also take some just here where my jawbone connects. And now blush. I was recently given this really big cheap makeup palette, but it has some gorgeous blush colors in it, and I've only really started getting into blush. I'm gonna take this peachy shade, which is the shade I use most often, and just on the apples of the cheeks and take it up onto the cheekbone. And now probably my favorite part of doing makeup is the highlight. So I have two highlights I use that are my absolute favorite. One is the Stila Transcendence highlight. It's like a kind of putty and it's pink with a little bit of a blue hue to it. And the other one is this NYX Duochromatic Illuminating Powder and Twilight Tint. And this is really a whitey, greeny blue one. I think I'm going to go with the Stila one just for a slightly softer look since it's got that pink tone. And I just take it on my finger and place it on the high points of my cheekbones. Such a gorgeous colour. I'm obsessed with it. I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this when I run out. I take a little under the edge of the brow and join it to the cheekbone. And then I take a little bit on the nose, which I always thought was kind of weird, but then I started doing it and the look isn't complete without it. The thing that slows down my makeup most is definitely me stopping to admire this highlight after I've applied it. I take the same white shade I used for the inner corner of my eye and apply that as a brow bone highlight. So I don't use too much and I just sweep it in and it blends in with the highlight I put there as well. Now I like to do my beauty mark. For this I use the Stila All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner in Intense Black. It's just a small sample I got. I probably won't rebuy it just to do this. Now before I put my mascara on, I take this Mario Badescu facial spray and just give my face a good coat. This really helps to moisturize my dry skin and helps set the makeup. I love this mascara because it's cheap, but it's also really volumizing and just really beautiful. The only comparable ones I've tried are from Clinique and by Terry, so it's such a great quality. I also like to do my bottom lashes, but only really on the outside edge. So I've just popped on some of this Hourglass Confession lipstick in the shade I Crave. It's such a stunning lipstick. It's so opaque. It feels so lovely on the lips. I'm obsessed with it. Except the price. That packaging. And now that we're kind of all done, I just take some of this Mecca Cosmetica Makeup Perfecting Mist and cover everything. Now, both of these spray products I use, the Mario Bescadou one and the Mecca Cosmetica one, are just really great refreshers during the day. I love to take this one to the gym and just spray my face after my workout before I leave because it's so easy and refreshing. And if you're having an extra dry skin day, it's great to put this all over your face, followed by your moisturizer in the morning when you're getting ready. It just really gets that hydration and that moisture into your skin. So here we are all finished. I'll just insert some close-ups as well so you can see the detail. This is my daily routine. The only changes I really make to doing this every day are using maybe a different brown eyeshadow, as I said, using some glitter for the lid or even just another metallic eyeshadow. Sometimes I like to take the eyeshadow just under my lash line, about the first half of under my lid. But other than that, this is pretty much my daily look. It takes me about 20 to 30 minutes on average, just depending if I need to rush that morning. It can be done in 15, but it is difficult doing such intense eyeliner and eyebrows in that time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.